Time once again for the Wollaston Garden Club's annual spring plant sale. That must mean that Kathy Curvels and Ann Forsman are here to tell us about it. Ladies, happy spring.
Oh, happy spring to
Happy
you
spring,
too.
Joe. Thank you for having us.
Look, you brought some light and sunshine here into the studio during dreary, gloomy, gray days that we're having in
I
May.
know. And we do need the rain, and we're not going to complain, but if it rains another weekend, I think there's going to be trouble.
Yeah, we're going to complain. Well, we hope it's nice on Saturday, May 17th,
Yes,
at least
we
from
hope.
9 a.m. to noon.
And we are rain or shine, so that is,
Your
worth
gardeners.
pointing out.
I was thinking
right?
about this morning. It's like gardeners are hardy, like earthy, down to earth, rough
We
and
totally
tumble.
feel that way.
Oh, you
yeah.
are, though.
I mean, we've cleaned up ourselves, but
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not really sure I did.
Oh,
No, but right?
yes.
Well,
yes.
and honestly, the rain doesn't bother us.
Yeah.
And the rain is great for the plants, so be it. But the customers prefer sunshine. So we would
yeah.
like it to be dry for them to enjoy their shopping.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Before we talk about the sale and everything that's available this year, it's still at what is now the former Wollaston Congregational Church,
I guess,
right?
yeah, we're still calling it the Wollaston Congregational Church,
Yeah.
but yes, the church itself has closed, I guess is
Yep.
the right word. But we are still having our meetings there, and
Okay.
we use their driveway for the plant sale.
Okay, so I know that was kind of part of the impetus to have the city purchase the property, right? Was to keep places like the
Yes.
Garden Club at
Yes,
this location.
and the Boy Scouts and a couple of dance, and there's theater, and there's
There's a human
AA
trafficking
and-
group. There's
Really?
there's Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are drama clubs. There are dance groups. It is such a community resource. We're
yeah.
so happy that the city decided to keep it as such.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Does it need anything?
Needs a lot of renovation,
It does.
which is really why the church
Not a lot, shush.
needed that.
Just a
No,
Some.
well, it needs renovation. It needs renovation.
it's an old building.
It's an old building,
It's
yeah.
a beautiful building,
It's,
but
it's,
it
it's
is
on the
old.
National Register. It's a
Yes.
historic building.
Yeah,
right?
so it is. But we're happy to still be there. After the Garden Club has always met there,
Always.
and we're 90 plus years.
Wow.
Right. It was a little bit more white glove at the start.
Yes. Right. Yeah. That's the perception of gardening, right?
Exactly.
The
The
reality
Reception of
is,
garden clubs.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not the reality.
Not
at
in
least not
our
today.
case, and I'm sure there are exceptions everywhere,
Yeah.
and every garden club gets to set their own tone.
Yeah.
And we set the tone that we love to be out. We like to, if you're interested in floral arranging, then we'll make sure that you find a class that'll further your interest, So there's a lot going on besides this, but Ian and I have to say this is our favorite.
Is it? Is
Yeah,
it really?
sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too. We had an event with another member's yard, and there was 20 of us, and it was kind of cold and rainy, and we ended up dividing and potting up 250 plants for the plant sale.
Wow.
And nobody left. They were all just dressed to go,
Yeah.
and it was just a lot of fun. And you get to talk to people that you might have only seen at a meeting but not really had a chance to get to know a little bit, in those more personal things, So I think that's really, really great about the Garden Club.
Yeah. There's something about being outside in the elements, playing in the dirt, right?
Playing in the dirt. Exactly, So, yeah, and not everybody in our club can participate to the extent of digging and potting up and
Yeah.
everything, but they have other interests, and they keep us supplied with food. And
Important.
Exactly,
Yeah.
important, So everybody contributes in one way or another, and I love that about the club.
Is this the main fundraiser for the Wollaston
Here's one
Garden
of
Club?
them.
One of
We
them,
have
yeah.
the green sale.
This
right?
is one of two fundraisers.
Yeah.
We do a very large green sale in November
Oh, sure.
prior to the Christmas holiday season, and then we have this sale. When Kathy was talking about the contributions of our members, this is another area where so many of our members are able to either donate pine cones or donate the plants that are in their yard.
Sure.
So maybe they can't do the digging, but maybe they had the garden, and we can help them with that now.
Yeah. How many members in the club now, roughly?
It's over 100.
Over 100.
20.
It's
Yeah.
over
Over
120. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And we keep getting new members, and it's a lot, mostly word of mouth. Somebody comes
Brings a
and,
friend.
and brings a friend and says,
Yep.
you might like this, and they decide they want, I have a guest anytime, well, for the most part, and if they want. It's only $30 a year.
Right.
So we're not terribly expensive.
No, we're not an expensive club to join, and they probably get their money's worth just with the snacks. So never mind the
We are,
community
yes.
outreach, never mind the education, never mind the opportunities for field trips. And we hear it again and again when people come to the meetings that first, they're just really glad they came.
Yeah.
And second, they can't believe how welcome they felt. I think
Yes.
we have a good group of people that try to reach out every day.
That's
Right.
nice.
Every day we
you
have
see somebody
new.
come in as a guest, and somebody's getting up and getting them a chair, and sitting them with them,
Yeah.
or introducing them around. And we have name tags, which is heaven
Which is really
sent.
helpful.
It's a simple thing, but it's
It-
really
it
important.
really
yeah.
is
Because you
when-
can at least approach somebody and
Say
say,
hi.
hi, Linda.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
hi,
Yeah,
Jack, or-
So and that's a garden club tradition, not just ours.
Oh.
So any garden club we go to, they always have name tags. So it's really good.
So when does the Wollaston Garden Club meet then?
Okay, we meet every third Thursday of the month in the social hall of the Wollaston Congregational Church. Our meetings alternate between day and evening meetings because we have members who work. We have members who have, who would prefer
Other
a day
responsible-
meeting.
yeah.
But we do not meet in the social hall in June, July, or August.
Okay.
If you're a member, you can attend one of the strolls or tours that we hold instead. The tour, some of them tend to be more for the actual members, but strolls you can
everybody.
come with a member.
Okay.
You can come with a friend in general.
And that means that somebody in the garden club has said, I'll open
You
my
should come.
garden. Yeah, you should. Yeah, I'll open my garden and you can come stroll it. I may or may not be there. And,
Oh, I see.
and Anne is really good at labeling things so that if you're, curious what is this or that, you
Right.
can, at least have a name or whatever, and it's really, I think everybody's garden is different and everybody's garden is worth exploring, It could be a little pocket garden and it's still worth exploring,
Or a container garden even, right?
Absolutely.
In the city, yeah.
Absolutely.
Balcony
That's the
gardens.
thing in the city. It's very interesting to see what people do with the small areas that they have. And we don't, so few of us have suburban, sprawling, big, sunny areas.
No, most lots in Quincy are like 5,000
Tiny.
square feet, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. At
Once
least
you
the
put the
densely
house
parts.
on it and the neighbor's house, you don't.
Right. In the older parts of the city, at least,
Sure.
they're small lots.
They're
that-
very tight.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see what people do.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the plant sale. Again, it is Saturday, May 17th, 9 to noon. And it's
Rain or
at-
shine.
Rain
as
or
I say.
shine.
Yeah, it's important.
At Wally Kong, former Wally Kong, up on Wollaston Hill,
Yep,
Yep.
out in the driveway.
out the driveway.
And we do have people standing in line before we open.
So get there early, I know, is
Yeah.
the
Well,
mantra. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is. It
always the
honestly
best
is.
selection.
Yeah.
And we don't have, it's not like we have 25 or, well,
Well,
in this
we don't
case we
have an-
do.
But we don't have an unlimited supply
That's
of the
right.
really interesting plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the more interesting plants are slower growers. So we might have a member who we can divide, but we can't get 40 plants from it.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if you're one of the early people, you might find something.
An exclusive.
Yeah, well, there's something a little more, something you
Yeah.
don't already have.
Sure.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people are looking for. But they also want to know that if they take it home, it's going to do well in their garden. And
Yes.
that's where our gardeners are so helpful
Yep.
because they walk around with them, and we also try to separate things. This is the sun side. This is the
Yep.
shade side.
Yep.
And a lot of people are new gardeners, and they're not even sure if they have sun or if they have shade
Yes.
or whatever.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe kind of observe your yard before you go
I
to the
always
sale, right?
say that to
Yeah.
people. If you're thinking about new plants, what kind of light do you have?
Yeah.
Because this is surprisingly
yep.
a shade.
Let's get to the
this
fun
is,
stuff.
This is a shade
Whatever you
plant,
brought.
but it blooms very early. This is a Solomon seal, and it is very tall right now. But
I see that, yes.
and we do that. We put tags.
Solomon's seal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And on the back, we always try to say it's
Little information.
full
about it.
shade, part shade.
Okay.
As Ann said, it will take some sun, but
And these are all native, right? These are all.
we are doing perennials. I can't say
Okay.
They're not,
actually
some may
native
not
is a
be, but
different.
they might because, and especially now that our climates are morphing a little bit. Like the Japanese painted fern is not a native. However,
Oh.
it
Isn't
does
this cute?
really, really well.
Okay.
Now whatever the conditions were, it now is
And
doing-
adapting is part of a plant's life. anyway.
Interesting. Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
they had so little snow
Right.
these past couple of years.
And
Yeah,
then
it's
this
funny.
past winter was very cold.
Yes.
You
we
know,
had some
so
brutal
you know
cold, yeah.
we're confusing the heck out of the plants.
They're not the only ones.
I
that are-
know,
that are
I know, I
confused.
know.
So Kathy's brought a very pretty small-leafed green hosta. We have that might be the only green hosta I saw in our whole selection.
This
We-
one only?
No,
right
no,
here?
I think
Well,
there's 4 or 5.
There are
Oh,
4 or
okay.
5. But we have an amazing. We've got a couple of people in our immediate area that donate plants that are hosta collectors.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have some really interesting hostas that have come that are in a variety of color tones, big leaves with, you know, there are
Hostas are very-
thousands of
yeah,
varieties, and
Thousands?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we don't
It's
have
amazing.
thousands,
No.
but we've got a couple of dozen.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we've got some tall upright blues. We've
Yeah.
got some small variegated.
Yeah, there are
we've got
some that don't
really
get any,
interesting ones.
any bigger than that.
Okay.
It's
And
very
they
interesting.
do really well in Quincy. I know the
Hmm.
bunnies eat them, but they're prolific anyway. So you can, like, if hostas grow in your yard, you can arrange an interesting landscape with a variety of different ones.
Yeah.
So that's not just all the same.
And they're low maintenance, right?
Very low
Very,
maintenance.
yeah, yeah.
Very
Which
low
is
maintenance.
great.
And
Yeah.
most perennials are on the lower end of maintenance, you know, not all of them, but,
Yeah.
you know, when I say a perennial, it's something that comes back every year.
Yep.
So, hey, look at that, it just came up. You know, I mean,
Right.
I didn't have to
I
do
didn't do
anything.
a thing.
I didn't have to
Right.
buy it, I
Right.
didn't have to buy it again.
I bought it 6 years ago.
Right, or somebody, you know,
And now I'm
donated- yeah.
dividing it up into many plants.
Right.
Yeah.
Free plants.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a perennial, and we're
Daylilies is a good example.
Daylilies,
right?
Oh, perfect
yeah,
example.
yeah. Shasta daisies. I
Yep.
mean, we have that. You know,
We got a few plants from the library, from
Yeah.
Claire.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if somebody
She
wanted
does
to
a
see,
fabulous
she
job.
really does.
Yeah.
But she gave us several things, and if you are if you're looking at the library, if you're looking at the Peace Garden, you'll see some of these Solomon seal underneath one of the trees out in the Peace Garden, up against. It's a backstory plant,
Okay.
and so other plants go nicely in front of
Yep.
it. And she has a few beautifully placed, with some nice azaleas and
She does
some
a
other. Yeah,
fabulous-
she really does. And her plants are labeled. So if somebody was looking for something in particular, and her plants, interestingly, are labeled with the Latin names.
Oh, really?
Rather than
Oh.
with like a label that says a bluebell. Because a bluebell in Massachusetts and Quincy might not be the same bluebell in another nursery
Georgia.
somewhere else.
Texas is a good place.
Yeah, well, but not just, but they're all over the
Okay,
place.
yeah.
So if you look at a plant and if you really like it, if you take the Latin name down, when you go somewhere, you know you're getting actually that plant.
Oh, interesting.
Rather
Okay.
than some variety
variety.
of bluebell that might not really
Yeah.
be the same plant.
I suppose this day and age with technology, you could take a picture of
Oh, yes.
And
the-
everybody,
the
yes,
name,
should be
right?
able to.
Yep.
Yeah.
and then look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Although
do
they're
it
not
too.
flawless.
Sure.
They're not flawless. A lot of the plant
Yeah.
ID things, they might
Little
give you a couple
general.
of choices.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, but
So-
you
Yeah.
know, it's still worth it to look and get a sense of what you're looking at.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know,
yeah.
So, but
The club I know also has, you mentioned education, so featured speakers throughout the year. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
we do. We have a speaker every month.
Every month.
Yes.
Okay.
On a variety of different topics.
Mm.
And our last topic was a lot of the happenings in Quincy. Water, how they're dealing with coastal water rising,
Yes.
and a
Yeah.
lot of interesting things. So even if you're not super interested in that particular topic, if you wanted to hear the speaker, you would get a contact information, and there might be other topics within the city you might be interested in.
Okay.
right, and we do
So-
try to put it in the Quincy Sun, you know, to tell people who's going to be our speaker, you know, and like Ann said, variety. We might have somebody doing floral arrangements.
Don't
or,
forget in May. Let's
Yeah.
show the book.
Yes.
Show the book. She brought the book, Kathy. You might as well show it.
As
Yeah.
part of your $30 membership.
I know
You
it
get-
really is great to have.
It's a great resource.
All the people that are in the club are all listed in the back with all their contact information.
Okay.
And this is my little addition because since the book came out in September, we've already had this many people sign up.
Wow.
You know, so and I think there's a few more. But we are going to have what we are calling a President's Tea in our May meeting, which unfortunately is not open to the public because we have invited all the presidents and of guests from all the South Shore garden clubs in the area that are in our little kind of pod of, and so we'll have them, and it'll be special, you know. And we are having our own Carol Fisher, who's a master gardener. She's going to speak on something we are politely calling sidewalk strip gardening, but which everybody else calls the hell strip between your sidewalk and the road.
Oh, okay.
And how to make that a little bit
Do something with it.
do
How to do
something.
something
Yeah,
with it.
right,
Yeah.
right. You know, so I'm interested in
That
hearing
is
what Carol
interesting.
has to say.
That might be the only spot somebody has to make
And
That might
that
be.
is
something
true, yeah,
beautiful,
yeah. And you know, and you don't want to put something there that's just going to get ruined by the
Trampled
snow
on
and
or-
the salt and all
And
that.
the
you know.
dogs and whatever. Yeah.
And the dogs, yes, I know.
Yeah, it's got to be whatever goes there has got to be pretty sturdy.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So we're interested in that, and
Yeah.
we're happy to have the presidents coming from various clubs.
How many? Do you know, Kathy? Just roughly even?
I'm thinking right now I think we have 11 replies that they're
Okay.
coming. Yeah,
All right.
so it's going to be nice. And of course, our members come, and
Sure.
you know, and like Ann says, we do food really well, so we'll do food extra well because we have extra guests.
Other clubs in Quincy too, like Squantum,
And
Houseneck?
Houseneck,
Yeah.
Squantum and
Oh,
Houseneck are coming.
Super.
Yep,
Okay.
and we had a tri-club meeting not too long ago that Houseneck hosted for
Oh,
us.
very good.
Yeah, so it's a way for all of us to keep connected, and some of our members are members of both clubs.
Sure.
You know, so.
Yep.
And
We should talk about what the proceeds from the plant sale are used for. I know I like to ask you that every year.
The list is in the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know it off the top of your head, probably.
Well, I have a pretty. I'm so proud of our club. I think that we are a generous group. We give most important thing, in my humble opinion, I'm a retired teacher. I love it that we give scholarships to Quincy High School student, North Quincy High School student, and Norfolk Aggie High School student going off to major in some related field, be it environmental science, be it some sort of botany, some whatever.
Yep.
And those are usually arranged through their schools. We don't do the selection process, but we provide the resources for those students. In addition, we give scholarships to so many local charities. But our list is 2
I
pages
just
long.
thought I couldn't find it.
And
the
in
book.
addition
That's
to the, I think it's kind of in the front. Kind of near
I don't
your-
know why I can't find it. That's okay.
It is. It's kind of near the front, but that's all right. But I mean, Interfaith, Dove,
A lot of
we
social
just
service agencies.
all,
Yeah.
all this, all of those social service
Sure.
Yeah.
agencies. It's really
Oh, you can look.
I don't. It's okay.
It's
People
okay.
get
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
We're a generous group, and
Yeah.
in addition, if someone, for example, last year the school nurses in the city of Quincy were collecting hats and mittens and warm weather gear for kids. You should have seen the table. All it took was one announcement. Bring it to the next meeting. We had a table, a floor, bags, boxes
How nice is that?
overflowing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's, you
And
know,
we- and we do,
brand new
interfaith.
stuff,
We do-
hand knitted stuff,
Sure.
you name it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we do a
food
similar
drive for
thing
Interfaith at the
Interfaith at
holidays.
another meeting, you know,
Super,
and,
yeah.
and it's always just
And it's several pickup
fills my
trucks full.
husband's truck
amazing.
and
Yeah.
then some, you
Yeah.
know. So it is. It's a very generous group.
Yeah. And you also maintain different public places throughout the city, right?
I'm sure people have seen the signs as they drive around the city maintained by
Yep.
whoever. And yes, we do. We have the Wollaston Library planters. We have a nice garden at Safford Park. We have members who help out the Dorothy Quincy House and at the Josiah Quincy House. We have the corner as you're driving down from
Talk about a hell strip.
yeah, talk about
Newport
a
and
hell
Beale.
Oh, yes.
across from the Wollaston Fire Department.
And
We
that one to
maintain
the
that
hill.
hill, and then we maintain the corner that goes directly down into Wollaston. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
and we did clean a greener there, and people were just walking to
Oh,
the train or
they're
whatever.
so
and they were,
thankful.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's just you either drive by it quick or you're walking by it, and it's just nice that it's clean and,
Yeah.
and people are taking the time to plant something nice that you can walk by in Maya.
And it's also the kind of thing I think that if it weren't there, you would notice it.
Oh, I
you
think
know?
so.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the fact
Right.
that it's always been there is
A long
is
time.
nice,
This- yes,
and
this
people
tradition
appreciate it. But if
started-
it went away, they'd
Right.
be like, "What? Wait a minute, something's different." here,"
Right.
you
I know,
something changed,
yeah. And it's very, in those areas are all difficult. The only one that we actually have a water source for is Safford Park. So we're a little bit more flexible on what we can put there
Sure.
because we know we can water it.
Right.
But all these other places that you're talking about, there's no water.
Right.
It's just the rain.
Right.
Yeah, I know the
You
city
know.
has a water truck that they try and
Right, yeah, but that isn't,
difficult.
But they do
yeah,
they do
yeah.
their planters with their flowers, which look great,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be doing anything in the middle of the road. So God
Obviously,
bless
it's much
them.
too dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is,
Exactly,
yeah.
So we're in the middle of trying to figure out where we're going to put a tree.
Well, there is the
So-
Heritage Tree Program.
Oh, yes, there
for
is.
Quincy
And
400 this year.
There is,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and we have donated money. We've put aside
very good.
money
Okay.
from our green sale, and we're hoping it's going to be an evergreen tree. But that's been our dilemma: is where can we put this that we can guarantee it gets watered for the first?
It needs at least,
it's-
at least a year. 2 is better
Okay.
when you're
Yeah.
planting a tree. You can't just walk away from it.
Yeah, you want it to
and
be
just
successful,
assume,
right?
So that's been our only holdup. Is like, okay, where we know where the city might like it, but where would we like it? that we
Where
can-
would it grow?
Where
That's
will, where will it thrive?
yeah, it thrive, right?
All these things to consider,
Yeah,
right?
well, that's it.
It's
It's-
kind of fun dilemmas, though. It's
Right.
fun.
Of
Right.
course, of course.
So again, the plant sale is Saturday, May 17th, 9 to noon. Get there early at Wollaston Congregational Church in the driveway, rain or shine.
Rain or shine, and if you get a chance beforehand to look at your bare spots and say, oh, that's a sunny spot,
Yeah.
or oh, that's under a tree, that's
Yeah.
not going to get anything but shade. But we can help you with that once we have a little bit better idea what you need. I mean, like the hostas, they'll grow in the shade. They'll grow pretty much anywhere, I swear.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know?
I've got a bunch of them in my yard.
Yeah,
They're-
but they
they're
fill a really
indestructible,
nice
yeah.
big space for the most part, and then there you go. You don't have to worry about the weeds, hopefully.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this little guy here.
And that is a vinca,
Ah.
and it's a ground cover.
Okay.
And it is really pretty right now this time of year. But once the purple has passed, it's just a ground cover that's going to be green all season long. And again, you don't have to weed where you've got ground cover. So again, it helps you. And I have them in my own yard. I really think they're pretty. They cascade a lot, depending on where you put
Oh yes,
them and stuff.
the what is it? The fillers, thrillers, and spillers.
Oh,
Is
for,
that-
for containers, yeah,
What are you doing in
exactly, yeah.
containers?
Yeah. You know what you're talking about.
just because I've been
You've been hanging
talking
with the
to
garden.
you guys for so many years. WollastonGardenClub.com is your website. Now, for a payment at the plant sale, what do you accept?
Cash, check, or Venmo.
Oh, okay.
Now.
All right, you are cutting edge.
Oh, yeah, we're cutting it.
We still take checks, so I'm not sure how
That's
cutting
right.
edge we are. But I think, a
And
lot
we
of us
also have
work
a
that way.
membership table at the event
Oh.
if people want to, sign up for
Yep.
a year and check it out.
Okay. All right. Anything else? And you didn't bring any creations from your wood shop.
I almost
this
did.
time.
I've done like a little pocketbook planter, and I almost threw it in because that was
She
what I
should
had
have,
the
but-
Japanese fern in, and it's cute, but I do.
It was
But
cute.
will you have things at the sale though?
We'll probably have a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't focus on that.
I'm trying to
as
get
much,
Kathy's.
you know.
I've got a chair almost ready for Kathy's husband to paint.
Ah, very good.
Oh,
So,
first
yeah,
I'm
we'll-
hearing of it. He doesn't mind spray painting,
No,
thank
he's
God.
good. If I don't wait till the last second, he's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Okay. So maybe there'll be a chair
I
there.
actually
Maybe
did
there'll
wanna
be a chair
mention-
in my driveway. It's amazing what it lands in our driveways sometimes.
The North Quincy librarian is a member of our garden club, and she's hosting a coffee hour later in the month.
Oh.
So if anybody is ever in the North Quincy library area and you have any garden club questions, talk to Amy.
Amy
Yeah,
at
I
North
think
Quincy
that's-
branch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk to
I
Amy.
think it's the Saturday after the plant sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's great. She's really involved with the kids, which is so important.
All right.
She's done so much.
Thank you both.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Always a pleasure. I hope you have a great sale again
Thanks.
this year.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome. Thanks for watching us here at AM Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. See you next time.